and welcome to It's Storytime Kids. Today we're going to read Mr. Men and Little Miss Go Dancing by Roger Hargreaves. Little Men and Little Miss Go Dancing. It's a shiny cover, so you might not be able to see it so clearly. But it's not shiny inside, so it's okay. By Roger Hargreaves. Mr. Men, Little Miss Go Dancing by Roger Hargreaves. Oh, it says original concept by Roger Hargreaves, but this book was written and illustrated by Adam Hargreaves. Do you know what? It's incredible how talented people are, isn't it, kids? That they can write and illustrate whole books. Wow. I mean, I've got not much artistic talent, so I definitely could not do this kind of illustration. It's so pretty. Look at the colours. I bet you at home watching this could do that illustration. I bet you could do those pictures. Here we go. Can you see? Now there's a lot of words, so bear with. Little Miss Star, as you may or may not know, was always looking for ways to become famous. She longed for fame like Mr. Greedy longed for cream buns. So she was very excited when she read the poster all about the dance competition to be held at the Grand Opera House in town. There and then she decided that she would become a famous dancer. And to add to her excitement, she read that the competition was going to be televised. "I'll be on telly," she cried, clapping her hands in glee. After entering the competition, her next step was to find a dancing partner. Who should it be? Mr. Tall? Tall and elegant, but maybe too tall. Mr. Strong? Strong and athletic, but maybe too strong. Mr. Cool? Cool and energetic, but maybe too cool. And then she had the perfect idea, the perfect person. Mr. Perfect. And she couldn't wait to perfect a new skill, and he couldn't wait to perfect a new skill. Practice makes perfect. Little Miss Star and Mr. Perfect spent many long hours rehearsing their dance steps. All the while, only one thought filled Little Miss Star's mind. I'm going to be famous. By the end of the competition, they had perfected their dance routine, and they had chosen wonderfully striking outfits. The perfect outfits to stand out on television. Little Miss Star and Mr. Perfect turned up at the Grand Opera House on the evening of the competition. It was quite an occasion. All the other competitors were there. There was a huge audience. The TV cameras were recording, and the judges were seated at the judging table. And who were the judges? Who were they? Look at all those people. That's a bit scary. All those people watching you. Imagine. They were Mr. Cheerful and Little Miss Sunshine and Mr. Fussy and Little Miss Splendid. Mr. Cheerful was all fun and energy. Little Miss Sunshine was all smiles and happiness. Mr. Fussy was busy arranging his scorecards in a precise pile. And Little Miss Splendid was busy being splendid. She is splendid. Look at that hat. Wonderful. The competition started with Little Miss Quick and Mr. Slow. They danced the foxtrot, which involved a slow, slow, quick, quick, slow step combination. Mr. Slow was very good at the slow steps, and Little Miss Quick was very good at the quick steps. Surprisingly, this meant they kept exact time. The judges then held up their scorecards. Little Miss Sunshine awarded them a 10 out of 10. 10. Mr. Cheerful gave them a 7. Little Miss Splendid scored them a 6. And Mr. Fussy held up a 1. Fussy, old Mr. Fussy. It's a very low score. The next couple on the dance floor were Little Miss Somersault and Mr. Tickle, dancing what they called the Tickle Tango. It was a mesmerizing tangle of arms and legs that somehow worked. The audience clapped and cheered their admiration. Three of the judges were on their feet. It was a 10 from Little Miss Sunshine and an 8 from Little Miss Splendid and Mr. Cheerful. Which deserved a tickle? Look at him, he's tickling. Wait, hang on, did I miss something? I did, I'm sorry, kids. It was a 10 from Little Miss Sunshine and an 8 from Little Miss Splendid and Mr. Cheerful. And down here it says, and Mr. Fussy? Oh dear, it was another 1, which deserved a tickle. Little Miss Star and Mr. Perfect watched from the side, feeling more nervous by the minute. The competition was in full flow. The Little Miss Twins danced the 2-step in seamless unison. Poor Little Miss Fun endured Mr. Clumsy's clumsy feet, treading on her toes. And Mr. Jelly was a jittery wreck, dancing to Little Miss Scary's version of the jitterbug. Little Miss Sunshine proved to be far too nice to give all the couples anything but 10 out of 10, and there was no pleasing Mr. Fussy, who never budged from a 1 out of 10. So it fell to Little Miss Splendid and Mr. Cheerful to make a competition of it. With only one couple yet to dance, Little Miss Naughty and Mr. Mischief were the surprising leaders with their lively samba. Samba, S-A-M-B-A, S-A-M-B-A, samba or samba, I'm not sure how that one's pronounced. It was finally Little Miss Star and Mr. Perfect's turn on the dance floor. They took their place under the spotlight. The TV cameras zoomed in on them, and the music started. They began perfectly. Little Miss Star was filled with high hopes. What could go wrong? Well, what did go wrong was Little Miss Naughty and Mr. Mischief's desire to win. That very naughty pair secretly put itching powder in Little Miss Star and Mr. Perfect's costumes. Oh no, that was horrible. Itching powder to make them all itchy. As Little Miss Star began her first pirouette, the itching powder took effect. They squirmed and twitched and scrabbled and scratched their itchy way around the ballroom. They desperately tried to keep their composure, but it was hopeless. It was a disaster. Finally, they collapsed in an itching heap on the floor. The TV cameras had followed their every shudder and stumble. Oh no, it was all on telly. The judges just sat open-mouthed as the music finished. Oh, that's not good. Poor Little Miss Star and Mr. Perfect. No points. None. No points whatsoever. Oh, they both went home feeling very disappointed. Mr. Perfect had to admit that practice didn't always make perfect. All little Miss Star's hopes of fame were ruined. However, the next morning she got quite a surprise. When she opened the newspaper, her picture was on the front page. When she turned on the television, she was the main news story. And it was the same on the radio and across the internet. The disastrous dance had made headlines around the world. She was famous, although not famous for quite the reason she had hoped for, but all the same, she was famous. And so was Mr. Perfect, although he was not so happy to be famous for something quite so imperfect. He looks very upset, but my question, kids, is what happened to Mr. and Little Miss Mischief? Who is that? Who it was? Little Miss Naughty and Mr. Mischief. It says Little Miss Naughty and Mr. Mischief's desire to win. So did they win? Did it get found out? Who was leading? It was Little Miss Naughty and Mr. Mischief. They were in the lead because of their lively samba. So they won, even though they put itching powder and cheated. That's not good, is it, kids? Well, thankfully it was just a story. It was just made up. It's not real life for you. That was so fun though, wasn't it? Mr. Men, Little Miss Go Dancing by Roger Hargreaves, which you can't see because it's so very dark now. Okay, that's the end. Thank you very much for joining me. I do appreciate it, and you all take care now, kids. Bye.